Hello, I'm hitting you with the monthly read this evening. And earlier today, I haven't turned them over yet, but I did pull from The Weaver. Can we see it? The Weaver Tarot by Blaire Porter and Brit June, the homies. And they have a light and a dark deck. I have both, but right now I've been playing around with the light deck. Let me just make sure everything's in order. You know how he is. Okay. Concern, opportunity, obstacle, advantage, and aversion. How funny. I was shuffling this deck. So I've been telling people a little bit more about my tarot practice, both through workshops and through my Instagram. But basically, I use a pendulum in my own inner internal clock to sort of pay attention to when a deck has spent its time with me. And so I have been working through one of my several decks over the course of the year, and I was working with the deck of character for a while, as you know, and sometimes I pull from Manzel's tarot, and I have a bunch of other ones, but right now I'm working with the Weaver's Tarot as of yesterday, and two of these cards were cards that one came up in a reading for me yesterday for myself, and another one came up just as I was shuffling, so they were heralds. What we have for December on the concern tip is the Three of Coins. A gathering. I kind of like this card for the holiday because Three of Pentacles. In this deck, to me, it's much more of like pooling resources and coming together and using what we have in order to have more. And I think in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, it is about cultivation. It can be about, like being a novice and learning your way. But I think in this deck, it's much more collaborative. If we look, we see we have wings, fire, and water. Air, fire, and water. And so it's this collaboration of energies that gets things done, right? Earth holds things down and can move, but that's a different kind of interaction from Earth in a more rare form. Whereas water, fire, and air are moving most of the time. And so as the concern card for December, it's kind of like, look around, who's around you, who can you collaborate with, who is in your community, who is family, who's extended family, who are friends, who are the individuals who sort of assist you in being more efficient, a better student, a better learner, who helps you. I just learned a student in sign language, who makes you a better student, who makes you a bigger, I'm using bigger because I don't know better, bigger teacher, who is helping you improve yourself simply by collaborating with you, being there, challenging you, encouraging you, being present, all those things. So look around and see what there is, and then see where we can go with that, which, of course, coming to the opportunity obstacle card, we have a major arcana stepping up. Opportunity obstacle card being that from without, which we are seeing either as some sort of blockade or as some sort of ability or like we would say ableistly stepping stone, but some way of elevating our circumstances. So we have strength. And this, to me, in this case, is really about fortification, right? Like, the only reason that we can have these complex shapes and designs and architecture, and the only reason we can have these things like pyramids that stand for generations is because of the integrity of the infrastructure and of the fortification of those infrastructures that allow them to stand the test of time and the test of all this weather, right? So this air, this water, and this fire. So, if anything, this is an earth card too. So what I see with the strength is like, okay, you look around, you see who's around you, what you can actually cultivate, who's involved in the things that you want to be involved in right now, what kind of projects do you want to undertake, who's around who can assist you in collaboration in any shape or form, whether that be, voluntary, collaborative, paid, commissioned, all of those things, consulted. And then from there, we start to fortify with those groups. We start to use December to start to see who the true community is. And I don't mean that in some sort of like us and them. I just mean like who are the people who it makes sense for you to be giving of time and giving of energy, because 2021 is going to be a lot about choosing, as always, but it's going to be about choosing away from the narrative of the train. You guys may or may not remember, and I don't know if I've said it before, but I've used this analogy, and I'm probably going to do a meditation really soon that I'm going to make available about how 2020 was the train going off the tracks, and the train has stopped, and some people are stuck by the train, some people are in the train, some people are terrified to leave the train, and some people have wandered off and have gone over the mountain, some people have bought a house, some people are in other lands entirely. And so, since the train has gone off the tracks, 2021 is really going to be about fortification in the communal sense, in the new sense, in the true sense. Like, who actually gives a fuck about me for who I am? Who actually can show up for who I am? Who is already doing that? Who has offered to do that? Who I haven't given proper attention? Who in my creative, collaborative workforce, friend force, family is already there in a way that it's easeful and I don't have to strain myself or withhold myself or lie, and who also is challenging me in a healthy way where I don't allow myself to become too comfortable and too stagnant, because strength is not about being brittle or about being stagnant. It's about being fortified. It's about having integrity, and those things should be withstand the test of movement. Those things should withstand the test of change. If they're the true functional, structural, foundational truths of your reality, then they should weather anything. They may change, but they fundamentally should weather anything. They should have strength. Then what we have at the end of the road, not the end of the road, but we have in the advantage version, what within our character is working for us or against us. What within our character is working, I mean, yes, obviously by the name of the text, is working to our advantage or working to our aversion. But what of this card can we utilize, whether it be, whatever the nature of it? So we have the 8 of Wands. I just love how these cards have been looking in the light that I have. I just look at that. So beautiful. The 8 of Wands, and we see there's a ram's head with a third eye there. And sunbeam, golden sunbeams coming out. So the 8 of Wands can be a card that's kind of like, it's funny in reflection of these two cards, because I think sometimes it can be a card that's like, oh shit, like it's going down and everything's happening around me, and like, where will I find my equilibrium, and can I balance all of this? But this is a old world capitalist reactive function, because if you have the people around you to collaborate with and to help you learn more about what there is to know and what is necessary to understand, then you will be fortified, and you will have the strength to move forward in a sustainable manner, in a manner that is incorporative and extensive and constant, and allows for much more. So being that would be the case, if we're doing that, if we're using the concern and our opportunities or obstacles in the appropriate manner, and we're not allowing our character to work against us, then this card should manifest in its more positive sense, right? Not in the, oh, I'm assailed from all sides, and like, I don't know how to sort of protect myself. Ultimately, this card should be like, oh, I give up the fight and the struggle of pretending that it's all up to me to get these things that I want to manifest in the world done. Doesn't mean that you don't have a large hand in it. Doesn't mean that it isn't your baby. Doesn't mean that you are not given your just rewards and your just due for the kind of work that you put in, but that you will go further. What is the African proverb? If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go safely go together, or if you want to go like more assuredly go together. And the reason for that is that there are more people to look out for the dangers. There are more people to account for the number of things that must be considered in order for us to, reap the rewards of taking the risks that we've been taking. So at the best, like, yes, it is a ram. Yes, we do see like that Aries head. We do see how it likes to be the leader of the pack, and how it likes to go ahead, and how it often feels like it needs to do everything on its own. But then we have the reality of the fact that, like, no ram is omnisexual and births itself. So there's a balance to this. And the balance is knowing that, like, yeah, maybe it's your work to be the head of the project, but other people have to be the leg and the spine and the back and the ass, and like everybody has to play their part. And the best leaders understand that. The best leaders know where they should be leading, and they put down the things that are not for them. And I was saying this in my podcast the other day, which I'm going to try and share in a way where y'all can actually like download and resource them from my Patreon, because you give me extra, I'd like to give you extra. But like I was saying that sometimes real strength and real integrity is just recognizing where you do not have strength and integrity, so that you do not overextend yourself or struggle or bend over backwards to accomplish something that it may be much more efficient for somebody else to step up in the way that is already natural for them, and for you to actually have strength and integrity where that already is held for you. You don't always have to be the leader of the pack where you do not feel strong. Let someone else who feels strong in that regard lead and learn from them, and then eventually that may be your role. But like, it's not for us to do every single thing. And we also don't need to witness everybody's growth either, right? So this is about looking around and seeing who your true collaborators are, who your true resources are. So that means, like, don't make anyone who's around you the person who has to help you do the thing. Don't choose people to work with you in romantic relationship, in work relationship, in familial relationship, in communal relationship, or any of the other realms, right? Spiritual, religious. Don't allow anyone who doesn't actually believe in the work to be forced to be a part of the project, because they're not going to help it elevate itself. They're not going to help it, at least not intentionally. And if they do, it may be despite them. So like, let us look around and see where people are already naturally lending themselves through their behavior, and let's encourage that where it's healthy, and not participate where it's not healthy, essentially. So I hope this is useful to you, that it serves you well. I have a few more things I'll be dropping this coming week, and a few more things I'll be rolling out into the Patreon. And that's just because it's a great repository to have this information saved in one place, and because I appreciate y'all. And we're getting to the end of 2020. It's been quite the fucking year. But here we are. So may December fare thee well. May you treat yourself with regard. And then you will extend that to everybody else naturally, just as a consequence of your own day-to-day practice and actions. Thanks, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.